A man's personality and character is exuded through his haircut. Your image is important. Our high-end services range from a traditional haircut and shave to gray blending, beard shaping, and unwanted hair removal. Located at 425 Victoria Avenue East. Book your appointment online now at modernmen.ca or call Tammy 306-522-4111. Modern Men, a haircut for the modern man.
Hello, I'm Sean McNall, owner of TG Marketing. We are a promotional product company located in Regina, Saskatchewan. Originally founded by Tom G. McNall in 1985, we are now in our 35th year of business. My brother Ryan and I, along with our great staff, have carried the torch since Tom retired in 2011. For those of you who don't know what we do, we sell items with a company's logo on it, like clothing, pens, phone chargers, Bluetooth speakers. The list of products available is endless. Our products are a great form of advertising. Whether you want to give a gift to a valued client or show your appreciation to your staff, we have a friendly team that can help find the right product for your needs. The key to our success has been our customer service and our vast knowledge of products in our industry. We ask the right questions to get you in line with the proper product for the project you are working on. Stop by 1046 Winnipeg Street and view our showroom. Get some ideas for that next promotion you're working on. Let's make your business what everyone's talking about.
Bedard versus Braden. I know that might be a disservice to everybody else on the ice, but that's what I'm going to be hyping up tonight.
How about that?
Pretty exciting. Both those players get lots of ice time. Dave Struch is not shy about playing the kid. Played him in every position on the power play. Warrior kid's good too. Yager looked good. Won the game for them in a shootout the other night. And those guys aren't all the focus. There are a lot of good players on both sides, so it should be a fun game tonight.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It absolutely is. Welcome to a brand new week, everybody. Welcome, Canadian sports fans. Don't mind me. I'm just sharing this on Facebook and all our favorite groups. RP here and Moose DuPont there. Oh, boy. I was taking a photo earlier. I forgot to put those helmets back on the desk here, right in front of Main Street. Actually, what the heck? What are you going to say?
No, go ahead with the hats. I thought you were going to leave them up there for the show.
Oh, no, I was taking pictures. I want to thank the Theodore Buffaloes senior hockey team for sending us these lids. And I know our listeners can't see it, but our viewers can. And this is one sexy logo. It's the old Buffalo Sabres. How about that? It's the old Buffalo Sabres logo, Theodore Buffs. On the back, it says, #join the herd. So thank you, Theodore Buffs. I can tell I'm going to be wearing a lot of hats here coming up this spring, and I couldn't be happier about it. But, Dubes, just before we get into the serious talk, you said you hated Theodore. Can we say that?
Hated Theodore. Hated them.
You growing up in the chicken capital.
Oh, yeah. And as a kid watching the senior hockey teams playing playoffs and provincials, I mean, they had one guy, and this was always the guy we picked on. He had the half cage, not the visor. He wore the half cage.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he was a teacher in theater, so he probably wasn't a bad guy. But there was incidents of sticks swinging in the stands, right? And wild rivalry with Theodore for a while.
That's hockey.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so hello, everybody. I'm going to get to your comments here in a moment. Hope you had a good Easter, all of you. I certainly did. Big show today. Davis Sanchez joining us from the CFL on TSN. He was watching the show last week, and we just and he chimed in, and we said, let's bring Davis on and see what he has to say about all of the CFL, XFL talk that's going down. And also, Gino Paoli, the voice of the Okotoks Oilers, will be joining us from the AJ, former voice of the Whitecourt Wolverines, and as Darren Googled, the Humboldt Broncos, Melfort Mustangs, and Nipawin Hawks. So he'll talk about our Junior A scoop here in Western Canada, and a lot of NHL. You said he's a Flames fan?
That's right.
Get his take on that. All right, so let's get to the quick six show topics, please, Director Jordan. And while we do that, I'm calling up my weekend leftovers, NHL leftovers, because that's my number one show topic. So, hey, are the Leafs going to win the Stanley Cup? They look very good.
They better, right? I mean, there's not that many windows that open up like this. So they do. They do look pretty good. Jack Campbell, I think, is the answer in goal. At least it looks like it right now.
They got several choices in goal. Way to go, Leafs. I'm down with it. Starting to become a bit of a fan, believe it or not. 2, the Flames couldn't score and they couldn't defend. That's a tough combo. I watched most of that game last night, and come on. First shot on goal, the Leafs score. Is Markstrom hurt? You're paying the guy $6 million. Put him in goal. Sink or swim. COVID Canucks, that's a scary story this weekend. And my wife was out of town, so I had a lot of time to surf Twitter. You know what I mean?
You bet.
And I'm seeing the fight between Damian Cox and Eddie Lack, and Darren Dreger was leading the coverage, but our friend Carter in Winnipeg was tweeting that he's heard it's not as bad as the media is saying, and I'm like, oh, boy. I enjoyed when we were just arguing about the CFL and XFL on Twitter. Now it's about what's serious, what's not, COVID restrictions. Oh, my God, stop. You wanted or suggested a poll question. Was it you? Will the Canucks play a game this year, or was it Clark?
Yeah, it was me.
The rest of the year. What would you vote on that?
I'd vote yes.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. I do.
I sure hope so. Here's another one. Vegas's 3-game slide. Is this a trend or is it a fad? Well, Canada's team, the Vegas Golden Knights, you have to understand there's alarm bells going off in Vegas that the Knights have lost 3 in a row, but the Leafs lost 3 in a row this year, right? Most teams have lost 3 in a row.
It happens.
It's just not in Vegas, right? So we're going, oh, boy, are we not as good as we think we are? Or is this just, a slump and every team goes through them? And that's what I think that it is. But they got to get out of it.
And they're Vegas. And leading up to the deadline, it's decide, do we got to walk away from the table or wait for a new shoot?
Exactly.
Right?
They've been on a heater, right? Do they keep throwing the craps?
They're about to reshuffle the deck of cards, right?
Right. And then the other one, when do we start paying attention to Florida? The number one team in the National Hockey League. And you've been on that train for a while.
Yeah.
Kudos to you.
Thank you.
So that's my weekend NHL leftovers. Point two of the Quick Six show topics here in the warm-up for the Four Seasons Sports Palace, and that is, how about those Blue Jays? I watched part of the game yesterday and then caught, what a wonderful pregame show for the Leafs and Flames, was Jays in 30. Right? Just zing, zing, zing. Like for a guy that finds baseball too slow, which I do because I'm an adrenaline junkie and a squirrel, Jays in 30 is perfect.
That's so good.
It's got all the hits. It's got all the strikeouts. It's got all the highlights in 30 minutes. It's perfect. So the Jays won at New York, and it just seemed like when you put all those plays together, what Bo Bichette was doing and Vladdy even with his home runs, they looked like an all-star team. And nobody's corrected me yet. I think it took 7 until the 7th series last year for the Blue Jays to win a series. And here they won one in the opening weekend. That's exciting.
Very.
I don't know if they're going to be World Series contenders, but I can tell you what, we're going to be following them game in and game out, and that hasn't always been the case for a long time. Point 3, Dub Hub. Here in the sweatpants capital, what's going on with the Western Hockey League? We've got, as of last night, the Brandon Wheat Kings beat the Saskatoon Blades 3-1. They're now tied with identical records atop the Subway standings, 9-2-1. Every time I think about the Subway Hub, I want a sub. It's supposed to work that way, isn't it?
That's working.
That's the whole idea of advertising.
No kidding.
Roast beef here, meatball there. Today, we've got the Pats and the Warriors at 4 o'clock. Connor Bedard and the Regina Pats taking to the ice, and we'll be calling it on Access Now Television. And then tonight, it's Brandon Prince Albert at 8 p.m. Is the Subway Cup going to Manitoba?
There's a good chance.
Don't look now. Winnipeg and Brandon are 2 of the top 3 teams.
Yeah.
Moving on, spend some time on this. Larry Smith. I don't know how many of you. Did I mention that my wife was out of town this weekend? I had a lot of extra time.
It may have come up.
I was listening to the Larry Smith interview on TSN 690 Montreal, and I love me some Larry Smith. I love a lot of the CFL commissioners, by the way, because they're good guys. And Larry was one from 92 to 97. He's now a conservative senator. He played for the Alouettes. He was the president of the Alouettes. He's kind of Mr. CFL. But you know what I like about Larry Smith? No BS. He didn't try to fool you ever when he was the commissioner. And in that interview with TSN 690 Montreal, Larry Smith said, listen, I don't even want to talk about a merger with the XFL. Nothing. Because Tony Marinaro, the host, kept bringing it up. He's like, listen, it's about this year. What's happening this year? They have to play. If they got to sell patches on the jerseys or find other ways to make money, but they got to play. And then he would sit back and go, but I don't know how they're going to do it. I have nothing to do with the league. But out of sight, out of mind, which is what I was saying a year ago, right? And people are, no, Rod, that's not a thing. Well, when Larry Smith says it, apparently it's a thing now. And he said, and the sponsors will forget about you real fast, too. Larry Smith wants answers, and he speaks for a lot of CFL fans and followers that we all want some answers here. So it's Wednesday will be a month since Randy Ambrosi dropped the XFL-CFL collaboration bomb. We haven't heard from him since. Training camps are supposed to open in a month. It's time. And let's let the conservative Senator Larry Smith say it. It's time, guys. What do you think about all that?
Yeah, I mean, he's right. Out of sight, out of mind. And it's always a fine line of what's too far gone and what's not. And, you know, where do people start spending their money? Now, this past year, you might be able to get away with it because there's a pandemic and everybody's staying home and they're not necessarily replacing that spend with other things, right? But as we start to get more vaccinations and we start to be able to travel, and now we're looking at COVID as a thing we have to plan for, but we're still open, you know, doing things again. Now you're going to start spending your time and your money elsewhere. So this whole summer and fall, when we're back to starting to do a few things, camping and traveling and spending our summers, spending that money we would spend on football, now it becomes a real problem. It really does.
Absolutely. And the one thing that Larry Smith said, and then we'll move on, although a good chunk of our viewers are CFL fans, so we could spend the whole warm-up on this, and Davis Sanchez is coming up next segment to talk about this and more. But Larry Smith said, maybe are the owners going to bite the bullet? He said they're going to lose money anyways, so are they going to bite the bullet to play? And what bothers me is if they were going to bite the bullet to play, they would have bitten the bullet already and probably would have played last year, right? So what really disturbs me is I think in a lot of cases they have the money, but they're not willing to spend it on a bubble format. I know it's incredibly expensive, but at least you're going down swinging as opposed to just going down without a fight, which would be really embarrassing for the Canadian Football League. So you see my point on that, right? And then the other thing is, Larry Smith said, the commissioner is a servant for the owners. Of course, in my mind, I had a vision of Randy Ambrosie with a towel over his hand and a serving tray walking up to Bob Young. Iced tea, Mr. Young? Do you know what I mean? That was my mind, the way I thought. And poor Randy, that he's got to be the servant for these guys. He's the one in front of the finance committee at the House of Commons saying, they're like, what do you need? 150 million should do it. And the three MPs are like, get bent. Okay, we'll take 30. Come on. So anyways, that's my take on Larry Smith. I really admire him. In the 90s, when the CFL was dying and they had to bring in the American teams for the expansion fees, Larry would be sitting, Darren, at news conferences at the head table, go, look, we're dying here. This is what we have to do. You know what I mean? When I said no BS, that's what I admire about Larry. When he talks, you trust him. How many people are left like that anymore? Point 5, somebody brought up in the comment section here, March Madness. This is amazing, by the way. So I completely missed the Gonzaga last-minute shot, Suggs, with the winner of the night, because I was watching the Golden Knights blow the game against Minnesota. Apparently, I missed a big deal, but it doesn't matter, because tonight's the big game. Figure this one out. Tipping off at 9:20 Eastern. Most people are going to bed, I think. But it's 7:20 Mountain out here in the Western Canada, so that's great. And this guy right here stands to win thousands because it's between you and another guy. You and another guy. Did you know that? Did Dan, the Situation Saravelli, write you and tell you that? Because he wrote me.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm the only one in the entire pool that picked Baylor to win, and I had Baylor, Gonzaga in the final.
Unbelievable.
And all these other people, you included, have Gonzaga to win. But of all, obviously, you're going to get the same amount of points. So whoever's in first of those people who have Gonzaga to win, it's me and him. Whoever wins the game tonight takes home the cheese. Color me excited.
It's down to the two of you.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm in.
So this little podunk from the chicken capital, Wynyard, Saskatchewan, might win this U.S. March Madness bracket against all these Philly guys.
Yeah.
That they watch the show down there and invited us into their pool, and he's going to, I can't believe it. Good for you. I will be pulling for the Baylor Bears tonight.
Thank you.
For your case.
Thank you.
This is the warm-up, by the way, for the Four Seasons Sports Palace. New tagline here from the Greek Freak at the Four Seasons. Order a fabulous Four Seasons pizza and your favorite beverage for takeout and delivery. One-stop shopping. Call or order online. Maybe pick one up in time to watch the Pats and the Moose Jaw Warriors at 4 p.m. today. Leave work early and catch the Pats and Warriors in the Dub Hub. And point 6, it's Masters Week, Masters Monday. We're getting invited to go into all these pools, and that March Madness bracket was only $25 US. I see our good friends and partners at the Deer Valley Golf and Estates have invited us into their Masters pool. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
So what's the deadline for entry on that? I didn't click on the email yet. I just saw the title of it.
I'm assuming Wednesday because, prior to teeing off on Thursday. But, yeah, I got to get into that, too. I'll be all over it. They ask, I'll do it.
Spieth won yesterday. That was exciting.
Yeah.
I can't believe he hasn't won since 2017. Where's the time going?
He was winning everything then, too, right?
He's crushing.
Yeah.
He was the face of Under Armour. Maybe want to wear more Under Armour because of Jordan Spieth. Who would you take in the Masters? I might just go with Spieth.
Yeah, it's hard.
Maybe he's getting on a roll.
He's rolling. Dustin Johnson's going to be good. It's hard not to, like a guy like DeChambeau. There's a lot of really competitive, a lot of guys who can win. I don't know yet. Tony Finau, can't get over the hump. He might be my guy. I really want him to win.
Masters Monday. And thanks for the invite, Deer Valley. The Masters pool, I'll tell you this. I don't usually pay attention to the Masters till Sunday, but now that we're going to be in this pool, that's how betting works, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be following it all the way through. It's amazing how it works. So those are the quick 6 show topics. By the way, the rock star of the day from our last show on Thursday, it's been a long time since we were on the air, was Reed Johnson from the XFL Mark podcast. And he's becoming something of a demi-star in Canada with his XFL podcast. So way to go, Reed. You're the rock star of the day from Thursday's show. Habs for Life writing, he's watching on YouTube, says, a show on Easter Monday? MVPs. Listen, we couldn't go more than 3 days without a show. We couldn't do it.
No.
You know what? And we kicked it around. Were we going to have a show or not? And was it not Director Jordan who said, yeah, let's work?
Yeah.
We're here because of Director Jordan.
They tell us to work. We don't tell them to work.
Oh, exactly. We all have a voice around here. Lauren Smith watching on Facebook says, good morning from Kamloops. Good morning, Mr. Smith. Todd Pinks, one of our P1s, says, take Spieth. I'm going to if I can. Drew Koser from the Off the Hosel podcast, hockey and golf podcast, says, Justin Thomas. Well, we're going to, yeah. We'll be laying down bets with Come On Official. See who Come On has as the leader, the favorite.
Yeah, I'm going to check that out right now.
And then they're already congratulating you, Moose, for making it to the final of the March Madness. And I'm guessing you're saying don't congratulate anything yet. You haven't won anything yet.
If you ain't first.
You're last.
Exactly.
Says that noted philosopher, Ricky Bobby. We'll continue rolling with the comments. We'll break now and bring in Davis Sanchez next. It's a Monday morning. Thanks for joining us for coffee, everybody. Caliber Coffee. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV network across all 10 provinces and 31 states. Live daily on YouTube and Facebook, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpeterson.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Direct West has been the bridge for me from not dealing with social media or digital presence to having a presence. You have to take the leap of faith, so to say, and I'm glad we have. Direct West has helped us out immensely to get our presence online as far as digitally and also with the social media page. To see the results is just puts a smile on your face.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
Introducing Original 16 Hard Seltzer. The refreshing taste of delicious peach with vodka made in Saskatchewan. New hard seltzers from Original 16.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
It certainly is. Welcome back, everybody. Davis Sanchez is going to be joining us from the Remington Parkway Golf Course in Toronto. Clark is just trying to establish connection with Davis now. Football guys. Don't miss that.
I know.
So we're getting him from YouTube. A viewer named It's Funny Baseball Cat writes in and says, do you know Ethan Bear? Yes, we know Ethan Bear very well. He's been right here in this bunker. Proud warrior from Ochapowace First Nation here in Saskatchewan. Yes, we know Ethan Bear, and we love him. Proud member of the Edmonton Oilers. Which, speaking of, the poll question here for Capital Automall Universal Collision Center today is this. Which Scotia North Division team will be the most active buyer at the deadline? And our options are Toronto, Edmonton, Montreal, or Winnipeg. I put that in alphabetical order. And I voted for Winnipeg, and they're leading on Twitter with 31% of the vote. Darren, what are they saying on Facebook?
Montreal at 39, followed by Winnipeg at 36. So those are I'd lean that way. I think Edmonton, Toronto are pretty comfortable with what they have. I could see Winnipeg making some moves for sure. They're right there.
Well, what do you think Toronto needs? I don't think I'm watching most of the games. They are mowing everybody.
I know.
They're beating the top teams.
You know,
not by a lot, but they're still beating them.
Some of the insiders are saying a top 6 forward, but I'm like, I don't know where you fit another forward in, but maybe you do. I would have thought goaltending to shore that up, but I think you're pretty comfortable with Jack Campbell, and then Freddie if he gets on a heater, and Hutchins. Like, they're good there. A depth defenseman, you can always get better. You know, when you look at the teams that win, Tampa, St. Louis before, they just come 4-line waves, right? Toronto's doing that. I don't know if there's a lot you need to add. I'm with you.
And with the Oilers, this is why, by the way, that I was so hard on them all year. I was hard on them last year. What did they really add from last year? Not a lot. They're a good team. They're a good team. Actually, they could be a great team. And you see it when they play to their best and they play for each other and they commit to defensive hockey, which Dave Tippett's been begging them to do. And finally, they are. I don't think Edmonton needs a lot. Winnipeg could use some help, and they know it. And that's why I voted for Winnipeg. But it looks like they will be in the playoffs. And then for tonight, for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they're at Calgary. And I mentioned I watched Jason 30, and then it just rolled right into the Flames-Leafs game. And I see Ryan Leslie, our good friend, right?
Yeah.
Les, opening the broadcast saying, it's like Dumb and Dumber. You're saying there's a chance. Alluding to the Flames making the playoffs. I'm like, oh, boy. We still got almost a half a season left, and they're talking about the Flames on their own broadcast about missing the playoffs. Don't. So I get if they're out of it before the trade deadline, you got to start selling pieces off. You have to.
Yeah.
Because you're going to blow it up in the summer anyways. You might as well start now.
And you could get some good value back. For sure you could. So, yeah, I like that. I like that for Calgary.
All right, we'll get to more of your viewer comments in a moment, but let's go out to Remington Parkway Golf Course in Toronto. Golf courses are open out there. I love it. Davis Sanchez, CFL, NFL alum, joins us from the CFL on TSN. Look, I'm smiling. Of course he's smiling. How you doing, Sanch?
Day on the golf course is always a good day, right? So
Better than a bad day at work.
That's what they say, isn't it? Yeah.
Have you teed off already, Davis?
We have, yeah. We I think I'm on about 5 right now, but beautiful day out here. My game is atrocious. First round of the year, like I said, but enjoying it.
Well, listen, we will not keep you long, but I'm very humbled you take the time to join us, Davis. Look, XFL, CFL, let's start there. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, lots. I do appreciate. I will say this, Roddy. I appreciate you guys during the days, weekdays, sitting around. A lot of us are at home right now. Being able to talk CFL midweek on your show, I've enjoyed it a lot, and I do apologize for being out on the course. I've been looking forward to talk to you guys for a bit now. So it sucked. This landed on a holiday, ended up being on the golf course, but yeah, there's been a lot of conversation about this, and the one thing I do want to say. I haven't heard a lot about this, but I think for guys who are playing right now, the current players, it's really hard to get an accurate feel of how these guys, their comfort with this or their excitement for a possible merger when you realize that it's probably going to take away from the chance of these guys getting on the field this year or, sooner. And that, to me, is something that's hasn't been talked about enough. These guys have already missed a whole year of checks. Most guys that didn't get signing bonuses. And I could imagine. I mean, it's been tough for these guys. And now you're talking about, a merger, which in the long term financially can benefit these guys. But, the reality says if you're putting energy on this merger, it could take away from the likelihood of these guys getting checks this year. Now, we haven't heard that. I think that's just reality. So I take with a grain of salt anything that I hear from players in their reluctancy with this merger for that reason.
Well, it makes perfect sense. What about all the big name guys that have retired? Can you speak on that? Because the average fan doesn't really understand why they're doing it. I know, but it's not good when you lose stars like that.
I think there's to your point, the star guys that are guaranteed to make X dollars when we return, those guys, you're not going to see a ton of those guys return. But if I'm a guy that's, in the middle or towards the end of my run, you got to move on. And I think that's, if you don't know you're certain to be on a roster, you're certain to make X dollars and you're closer to the end than the beginning, I think that would be a time I would have jumped off as well. And I completely understand it. I don't think it goes to a fact they don't believe in what's possible or they don't like it. I think more a fact is just you gotta make a move. And to add to that, guys, is if you're a player right now and you're retiring or you're leaving the game and you're not certain to be guaranteed, what else do you do? You can't wait around, and that's why you see guys saying they're not coming back or displeased with how things are going. It's because they're not certain. There's no guaranteed contracts, and that's a tough pill to swallow.
Hey, last one for you, Sanchez, because I don't want to hold you up. And by the way, our viewers want to see your swing, so I'm just going to put that out there. Are you fearful for the future of Canadian amateur football vis-a-vis the ratio for pros, or just how this trickles down all the way into minor football?
Look, I'm a huge advocate for the CFL. If we could keep, this CFL the way it is and it was sustainable moving forward, that would be my vote. No question about it. But it seems as though that's not a reality anymore. So that being said, maybe you move on and look at this merger as something viable. To add to your question about junior football or amateur football in Canada, the ratio is something that's a must. I don't care how this merger takes place, what rules we play. The one thing that's got to be there, if we're playing in Canada, which we're going to be, is there has to be a ratio. And it's probably not going to be the same, but there's got to be a ratio. That gives kids like myself and so many others, the possibility to play pro football. To see somebody in your neighborhood that's doing, what you dream to do. I would have never played. I ended up playing the NFL, and as we know, and starting in the National Football League, but I would have never played pro football at all if it wasn't for the CFL. I needed the ratio because I was a late bloomer, just like so many others. I just think it's crucial for the ratio. That's where you got to draw a line in the sand is the ratio, in my opinion.
Absolutely. You're making a lot of sense. Listen, we'll let you go. You're looking fresh, by the way. I love what you got going on there. Can your partner show us your swing? Everybody wants to see it. Do you want to do that or not, Davis?
I'm headed. They're ahead of me right now on the green. I'm going to drive up to them, but I appreciate you guys. Thanks, Roddy, and hopefully we'll do it again, and I'll be at the house and we can chop it up again, and yeah, keep doing what you're doing, fellas.
All right, hit him straight.
Yeah, thanks.
Davis Sanchez, look at wow. So we couldn't see his swing because he's putting, and oh man, that tells you what kind of guy he is right there, right? That he would sit on the side of the fairway.
So go ahead, guys.
Yeah, I'm going to do this.
I'll catch up.
And by the way, my favorite, I've got a lot of Davis Sanchez stories, but I remember him coming into the old place, Taylor Field, with Rick Moffitt. Davis was doing color for the Alouettes. Rick Moffitt was doing the play-by-play, and he hadn't eaten. Again, players, right? He's hungry. They're always hungry.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, Rod, where's the media room? Where's the food? I'm like, we don't have one. This was like 2 hours before the game. And I said, at halftime, I think they bring sandwiches out or potato chips. I never eat it, Davis, but you got to eat before you came. Well, he just expected there would be food there because in Montreal, they bring pizza, they bring veggie trays, they bring everything in Montreal, but not here. So I took him. I said, come with me. And we went into the luxury suite seating.
Yeah.
What'd they call it? Club seating? It's getting to be a long time ago. And there they got the whole buffet fit for a king, right? But you pay a lot of dough for those seats. And then I found out, and then David just gorging, right? He went for the hot dogs immediately and some nachos, I think. And then I found out that after all these years of doing the play-by-play, I'd never been in there until I took Davis in there in about 2016. I could have gone on in there for 20 years.
Unbelievable.
And I never went in there.
I know. Wild. Right? Those are the real mistakes that you learn.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then in the new place, I was going in there every game. And the food was actually that much better. Anyways, there's your thoughts on Davis Sanchez. And that's a lot to munch on there, by the way.
Yeah.
Great comments from him.
Yeah.
I just want to check in on some of the viewer comments, by the way. Chris Griffin watching on Facebook says, we will find a way to save the CFL in Saskatchewan. Viewer Darren Bradley says, yep, we would. But what about the other teams? They sadly will not. That is the crisis that I'm not sure they understand here in the Rectangle or other prairie places. Yeah, we had 2 telethons back in the day to save the riders, but the rest of the league was fine. Now the whole league needs a telethon.
That's right.
From Trent in Norway. Norway calling. Keep the ratio so Canadians get a chance. Sanchez nailed it today. Thanks for bringing him on. Stay well, everyone. Are we going to go down the road of how this is going to look? Because I'm more than willing to. I'm just wondering, we're a month into this. Like, is it worthwhile?
We could.
Because I will just say, before we break and come back with a sports update, Larry Smith was saying all the things that I've been saying for a month, and they're just common sense. They're just common sense. They need to find a way to raise more money than ticket sales or other ways. And they got to play this year, or they're done, And yet we're sitting here a month away from training camp, and we don't know whether they're going to play or not. And with the COVID, what they need is a bubble, as you know, and to find the money to do that. How are they not raising money to do that? Now, I think it's unfair that the government's saying you can't play, yet the government won't give them money. I don't like that, but I'm a sports guy. And I had people, and one of them is probably watching right now, Don McNeil in Central Ontario, says, Rod, step outside your sports bubble. There's other things going on besides sports. That's true. But I am a sports guy. I can't completely change the way that I think, right? And the whole point is, with a breakout with the Vancouver Canucks and what the NHL's doing, they found a way to safely play, and it all had to do with testing. But the Canucks had an outbreak, so they can't play. Pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
And people are saying, why are they playing? There's so many more important things. It's just a game. We've stopped talking to those people, right? We've stopped even listening to them.
That's right.
Because sports is an industry. Sports is a business. The National Hockey League is not a hobby. So if you don't want to watch it, don't. But the CFL has been unable to find a way to play because it costs too much. and they don't want to pay their own money. And that just reminds me, this is the last point I'll make before we break, from Leonard on the Prairie Mobile text line at 306-840-8777. He says, what is disturbing, you have Canadian billionaires that have the money that could subsidize the CFL, but they're just too cheap, and that is why some billionaires brag the reason why they're rich is because they don't use their own money. They use other people's money more like taxpayers. That's not entirely true. There's a lot of rich guys, I know a ton of them, that want nothing to do with the Canadian Football League because it's a money hole. So the guys that are the billionaires and millionaires owning CFL teams, they're willing to pay the money for the ego stroke they get to own the teams. But now they're in too deep. Right?
It's expensive.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
So we got a sports update coming up. We'll continue all this. You're watching the RP Show Monday Morning Coffee Get Together. Thanks for joining us on Game Plus TV, YouTube, and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpeterson.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
If you could spend less time in the field, more time with your family, and make more money at the same time, would you do it? Verge's farm operations planning technology eliminates unnecessary turns, improves in-field communication, application accuracy, and reduces deadheading. Finish fields faster, burn less fuel, and use fewer inputs, all in one simple-to-use, web-based solution. Do more of what you want, when you want, with the people you love by subscribing to Launchpad by Verge today.
Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions is Saskatchewan's only full-service supply chain company. Strategic sourcing, PO creation, and order expediting, VMI and vending solutions, and free delivery are just a few of the supply chain services we provide. If your company needs it, Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions can get it for you. Price, quality, service, Rockstar Supply Chain Solution is helping Saskatchewan companies buy better.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Working with my family has been great. My mom and dad have taught us the importance of hard work. I've been here since I was 10 years old, and my dad has taught me a lot about quality work.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Capital GMC is your used car destination. We're overstocked and priced to move, so shop online or in-store to get the best deal on any one of our massive selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. Every certified vehicle includes the balance of manufacturer's warranty, 150 plus point inspection, roadside assistance, and certified exchange privilege. So save the depreciation and buy pre-owned. Capital GMC is your used car destination at the corner of Rochdale and Pasqua in Regina.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. And you might have, what are you laughing at?
Nothing.
What we were talking about at the break. If you notice the little new decor here, it won't stay here forever, but I love these hats from the Theodore Buffalo Senior Hockey Club. Theodore, Saskatchewan. Hashtag join the herd on the back. Can't wait to bust that out. We'll be on the courses sooner or later, but didn't that Remington Parkway golf course look beautiful there in Toronto?
Yeah.
They got a much longer golf season there than we do, I've noticed.
That, and obviously we envy the folks on the West Coast that can golf almost year-round. Yeah, I think the day in some of the Victoria courses, they only close on Christmas.
Well, in Nanaimo, they golf year, like on the island.
Yeah, and in Vancouver, I follow, Jay Prepchuk, right, with the UBC Thunderbirds. He's a quarterbacks coach there. He's a big golf guy, and I always see on his Instagram, he's sending me photos of him on the golf course almost daily.
Well, I said we'd have a sports update, and I got it ready to go, but we are over a year into this thing, and this is a sports program, so I'm guessing the people that are watching are sports fans, but Caesar is watching and says there is literally nothing going on outside other than sports. Nothing. Like that, sports and entertainment and sports, they kind of go hand in hand. It is an industry. And think about this for a second. We talk about the lack of sports that's not at the major league level, but what about the concerts? You know, they tried those 150 capacity concerts, right? Chantal Kreviazuk did one in Saskatoon. I think they did one here. Clearly, they've realized they can't make a go of it that way.
Not at 150 people.
Clearly. At $100 a ticket, what's that, 15 grand?
That's a house party.
Yeah, once you pay, for the facility and you're paying the band and you're paying everything, there's no money to be had.
No.
But we're a sports show. We're not an entertainment show. But nobody's talking about them. What are they doing? So, Lorne Goldenberg says, Rod, Lorne from Pittsburgh here. It's been a while since, but as Davis indicated, the ratio is the most important aspect of preserving Canadian football. The Players Association and the two leagues can negotiate from there. Absolutely. Let me get this sports updated, and then we'll bring everybody in for the talk. Austin Matthews and Johnny Tavares had a goal and an assist, and the Leafs topped the Flames 4-2 Sunday night. The result improved Toronto's record to 6-3-1 in their last 10. Calgary won't have to wait long for a rematch. The Flames host the Leafs again tonight. An extraordinary two-way performance from Shohei Ohtani. The Angels star pitched and hit in the same game for the first time since moving to the majors. Ohtani threw a 100.6-mile-an-hour fastball at the top of the first, then homered in the bottom of the inning. What a game that was on Sunday Night Baseball. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Randall Grichuk homered in the second inning as the Toronto Blue Jays beat the New York Yankees 3-1. Toronto won the season opening series 2-1, and Vladdy had a hit in all three games. Jays are at Texas this afternoon. The Boston Red Sox fell to their first 0-3 start at Fenway Park since 1948. They fell 11-3 to the Baltimore Orioles on Sunday. The O's picked up their first sweep in Boston since August of 2017. And don't look now, but the Orioles lead the division. What is this? Backwards week?
I know.
Hey, Baltimore, I thought you were in first place, but I had the newspaper upside down. Oh, wait, they are in first place. The Ottawa Blackjacks of the Canadian Elite Basketball League announced today the signing of Ball State star forward and American Tajay Teague. A 6'8" forward from Indianapolis, Indiana. Teague played 4 seasons with Ball State University, where he averaged 11.8 points and 7.4 rebounds in 129 collegiate games. The cousin of NBA players Jeff and Marquise Teague, Tajay has played 2 games for Team Rome in the 2020 Eurobasket Summer League in Indianapolis. See, the CEBL's finding a way to play come June. After nearly 4 years, Justin Spieth is a winner again on the PGA Tour. The 3-time major champion finally put an end to his slump by winning the Texas Open. Spieth had not won since he captured the British Open in 2017. This sports update for the Tap Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store and for Red Bull Canada. Red Bull gives you wings. And while we're stroking the sponsors here, Darren has found the odds from Come On Canada, our official betting partner, for the 2021 Masters, which tees off on Thursday. You forwarded it to Clark?
I did.
And he said give him a minute. So we were just saying who we going to take in the Deer Valley Masters pool if we had a choice. Because who knows, right? Draw a number and who's going to be available when you're picking.
Right.
And I said, I took Justin Spieth in the last Masters pool through Ballers.
Yeah.
Got my ass handed to me.
I know.
Off the top, do you want to call it up?
Spieth is good. Dustin Johnson's the favorite rolling in. Obviously, he's one of the top-ranked golfer in the world. So Dustin Johnson's number one.
There you go.
There you go. Jordan Spieth, number two. DeChambeau coming off a big win, too. There's Justin Thomas, who I really am a fan of. He's really coming on, maybe playing the best golf, too, this year. Rory's a hit and miss, right? He can be really good, or he can be off the charts bad and miss the cut. So it's interesting. It's a deep field for sure. I like Tony Finau's not on that list. I think he's playing. I'd have to check the field. But I've been a big fan of Tony Finau's. He just can't get over the hump and get that win. So there you go. Spieth, number two.
Place your bets at Come On Official, comeon.com, or download the app. You can find them on Twitter at Come On Official. Michael Hunter has written in a couple of times on Facebook, so we got to answer his question. He says, Roddy, question for you guys. Maybe a stupid question because it seems too easy, but what if the CFL did a streaming service for games? For example, $10 a game. Say there's 1 million people watching. That's $10 million a game. Seems too easy, but tell me I'm out to lunch on this. Zero health risk for fans. You're out to lunch on this, Michael. Sorry to tell you, and we've been talking about it since last summer. A, they already have an existing television deal with TSN. B, they don't get 1 million fans watching a game as it is for free.
No.
Let alone paying $10 a head.
It's more like 300,000 to 500,000, right? Riders are playing. Typically, a big draw, you get up to 800,000 would be a really good week for viewership, and that's people who are already paying for television. So, I mean, I pay $10 a month for my streaming service, right? Whether it's Netflix, $14, I don't know what they are, right?
Yep.
So per game, probably not happening, but
overall, I think people don't want to pay to watch sports and feel they shouldn't have to. I mean, I watched the Fan Control Football League on Twitch. That was a free app to download, or maybe it was $5. I don't know. Doesn't matter. I watched it for free. But I would suggest that the CFL has peeked into that and realized, A, it would be an infringement of their current broadcast deal with TSN, which goes for another 5, 6 years, 7 years. And that's why, they're probably the biggest reason why they're not looking at that. Look, we'll take a break and come back with Viewer Takeover right after this. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Direct West provides us with stats and analytics, and it's amazing for us to look and see that, each year we're 10 to 20% higher on our Google leads. It's great to see the success that our locations are having. The Direct West app gives us an opportunity to be in one place for people to find any of our locations or our commodities. Without Direct West, we would have to be in multiple digital places. I would recommend Direct West. They're great to work with.
Capital GMC is Truck Nation. Looking to buy your next truck or sell your current one? Capital is Canada's truck destination. Shop online or in-store to see the new 2021 GMC Sierra, Terrain, and Acadia. Right now is the best time to lease or finance a new vehicle. Can't find exactly what you're looking for? Let us help by sourcing your vehicle from our dealer network or custom ordering one that is perfect for you. Capital GMC is Truck Nation at the corner of Rochdale and Pasqua in Regina.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating. proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Welcome back. It's Viewer Takeover, and you folks have a lot to say today. So just hang on. John Kirby in Edmonton says, sorry I'm late. Thought you guys were off today because it's a holiday in Alberta. I thought it was across Canada. Anyways, have you talked about the Vancouver Canucks yet? We did. Way back in the start. Very first thing we talked about in the Quick Six show topics. So go back and rewind, John. You know that guy Calgary and John Burns that drops all the dough on us?
Yeah, I do.
I didn't see his comment come in early that he paid for, but he's written it again. He said, I thought my super chat had a good question about the NHL trade deadline. Did you see it? I would think players on COVID couldn't be traded, making things difficult for the Canucks. The last thing the Vancouver Canucks are worried about right now is making trades. The last thing they're worried about is that.
Yeah.
You agree?
I agree, and it all depends on how these players are doing. Like, you're not going to get, whether you're allowed to or not, no one's going to trade for a player who's not going to be able to come and play at a high level, right? Mm-hmm. So it becomes really difficult.
Well, and that's why in our poll question today for Capital Automall Universal Collision Center, it is, which Scotia North Division team will be the most active buyer at the deadline? I don't even have Vancouver as an option. I put in the teams that look like they're going to make the playoffs in this division. Toronto, Edmonton, Montreal, Winnipeg. And it's fairly close, but leading on Twitter is Winnipeg at 31%. Darren, what are they saying on Facebook?
36% Winnipeg now has eclipsed Montreal.
So that's pretty exciting if you're a Jets fan. You people in Winnipeg, I think everybody's expecting that Chevy's, man, that guy does a good job. Very little heat on Kevin Cheveldayoff ever. It's always Maurice. Only if they lose 2 in a row. It's shocking to me that they're actually talking about firing Paul Maurice. Not they as in the Jets. They as in Winnipeg Jets fans. Insane to me. William May is watching on Facebook. He says, who is taking the hit with all these stadiums empty? I've quite often wondered that myself. I don't really know. I mean, I've seen these CFL leaders come out and say they must play in 2021. They must play. A month away from the training camp, we still don't know if they're going to play. And we heard them say that they were going to be out of money. We heard all these. I don't know how they're doing it. Do you know? You're the business guy.
Who owns the stadiums? That's who takes the hit, right? I mean, I look at Saskatoon and SaskTel Center, you know, and who owns the stadium. You know, that's who is paying for it, has whether they have payments to make and they have staff to maintain the facility and they've got bills to pay. So you got to make those payments. And if you can't, then you got to figure out financing options. So whoever owns the stadium becomes the riders. Aren't exactly taking a hit. I mean, unless they've got the lease agreement, right? And they've got to make payments and they're spending that money. But the city's got to pay to have the lights on and pay all those utilities. And they're not getting the per game rate, or they've negotiated, you know, whether it's concessions or a share of ticket prices. So it becomes, you know, a real mess in a hurry.
Naylor wrote a column last week that basically said the CFL teams are fine. That was the sense I got. I don't know if you read it or not, but that they've got money. And by the way, with the SJHL president coming on last week, Bill Chow, I know it's apples and oranges, CFL to SJHL, but the similarity is that neither one's playing, neither one has any money, but they've also, we were told that nobody's in danger of folding. So maybe that's the case with the CFL. We're not getting any details, if you've noticed, from CFL teams at all.
Yeah.
And Blake Burns, where is it? He said, what do the Leafs need via trade? I don't know where the comment went. Blake, here it is. What do the Leafs need from Blake J. Brown? We covered that 30 minutes ago. You're late. Coffee starts at 10 Mountain every day. You came in late. Next hour, we'll continue with more of you and Gino Paoli, the voice of the Okotoks Oilers, joining us to talk some Junior A. Stick around after this break here on Game Plus.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Introducing Original 16 Hard Seltzer. The refreshing taste of lemon and Saskatoon berry with vodka made in Saskatchewan. New hard seltzers from Original 16.
Capital GMC is your used car destination. We're overstocked and priced to move, so shop online or in-store to get the best deal on any one of our massive selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. Every certified vehicle includes the balance of manufacturer's warranty, 150 plus point inspection, roadside assistance, and certified exchange privilege. So save the depreciation and buy pre-owned. Capital GMC is your used car destination at the corner of Rochdale and Pasqua in Regina.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Our parents always taught us about the importance of quality of work and friendly service. And here at Suds Car Wash, we're a family-run business, so it's really important that our customers feel like family.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Bedard versus Braden. I know that might be a disservice to everybody else on the ice, but that's what I'm going to be hyping up tonight.
How about that?
Pretty exciting. Both those players get lots of ice time. Dave Struch is not shy about playing the kid. Played him in every position on the power play. Warrior kid's good too. Yager looked good. Won the game for them in a shootout the other night. And those guys aren't all the focus. There are a lot of good players on both sides, so it should be a fun game tonight.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It absolutely is. Howdy, Canada. Welcome to Canada's daytime sports talk show. It's hour 2, and that means this is the second half kickoff. RP here, Moose Dupont there, and the boys running the ship on the other side of this wall. It's a very big day for Moose over here because he could win thousands of dollars U.S. currency. Do you know how much it is?
I don't. I got to go in and...
He's made it to the final of Enterprise Sports March Madness bracket. Some of our viewers down in Philly invited us into this bracket, and I hung in there till last weekend, but I didn't have Baylor making the final. He did, and beating Gonzaga tonight.
Yeah.
Which tips off at 9:20 in Indy, in Lucas Oil Stadium. Oh, my God, what a spectacle it's going to be.
Oh, I know.
That's tonight, 7:20 Mountain, Gonzaga versus Baylor Bears, and I'll be cheering for Baylor on his behalf. I can't believe that. You made it down to 2 people. What do you know about college basketball?
And I had the final. I had Gonzaga against Baylor.
Yes.
Let's be honest, though. 2 number 1 seeds I had in the final. Real stretch. But, hey, I knew this was going to... I knew it when I was filling it out. I just knew this.
Good for you.
I knew nothing. Okay?
I'm cheering for Baylor tonight for you.
I appreciate that. Go Baylor.
So that's what's going on there. John Kirby's all over this. It's like he's having one of those days. You know what I mean, Clark? John Kirby in Edmonton says, how do you think the Vancouver Canucks situation is going to impact the scheduling playoffs, and what do you think the BC Health Authority will do? I'm just going to lay it down for you, John. I haven't spent 2 seconds thinking about what's going to happen with the Vancouver Canucks playoff scheduling or what the BC Health Authority is going to do. Haven't spent any time on that, and I won't, because it's got nothing to do with me. And I'm preparing for a Regina Pats Moose Jaw Warriors hockey game tonight at 4 p.m. Mountain. I guess it's today on Access Now Television. Connor Bedard looking to extend his point streak to 13 games. I don't worry about things that I have no control over or have nothing to do with me, so I can't answer your question. Do you want to help him out?
No, I mean, it's tough.
Well, when you sit and watch Darren Dreger, whom I love like a brother, say the NHL doesn't know how they're going to deal with this, because I watched SportsCenter this morning. I'm not stupid. I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night and watched SportsCenter. Darren says they don't know if they're going to put a buffer at the end of the season. They don't know if they're going to put the playoffs in a bubble in Canada. There's guys that make millions of dollars making these decisions that haven't consulted me, so why would I put more than 2 seconds thought into what they're going to do?
We joke, when a problem comes up in our lives, it's like, oh, that's future Darren's problem to deal with, right? I mean, I don't have to worry about that right now. You got to worry about getting healthy and doing those things if you're the Vancouver Canucks. If you're going to put the playoffs in a bubble, you could potentially put the Canucks in there to finish the season. You also will look at how many games did they miss. Okay, let's say they missed 5 games. Or let's say they miss 6 or 7 games. Will those 6 or 7 games affect the standings? Are they too far out? Can they actually even get into the playoffs? And those teams they're playing, can it change the playoff picture? If the 4 teams are set and those Canuck games won't impact the 4 teams that make the playoffs, you might just chop them off and not play them. You could do that.
Could you?
You could do that.
This is what I enjoy about this show. This was the format we envisioned, was he and I talking, conversing with you viewers. And by the way, coming up later on this hour, Gino Paoli, the voice of the Okotoks Oilers, to talk about COVID in Alberta and the BC exit, #BC exit. But Chris Bird, watching in Toronto, says Vancouver can realistically be erased from the schedule. If need be, they are not contenders. But could they? You're kind of saying that. Don't they have a spate of games against the Ottawa Senators, who are also not contenders? But this happened in the National Football League, if I recall, in that Steelers-Ravens game. And the players on Pittsburgh were pissed. Like, if we don't play the game, we don't get paid. How's it any different in the National Hockey League? They've got sponsors. They've got broadcasts. I don't think you just willy-nilly go and cancel games because of COVID in the National Hockey League.
No, they'll do everything in their power to get them in. There are all those things, too. For sure. What?
John in Edmonton, thanks, Dupes, for actually answering my question. He didn't! He said they might cancel the games. Did you answer the question?
He's satisfied.
You satisfied.
The answer was
with a bunch of BS. It was just a lot more delicately than I handled it. Oh, boy. John Burns in Calgary. Seems like a nice guy. Writes in on YouTube, TSN and CTV are linked together somehow? Does one own the other? Google it, man. Don't waste our time. It's called Bell Media. Anyways, what else do we have here? Well, and people are talking. Here it is. William May watching. He says, it's hard to get the CFL going when the governments keep locking down everything. So hard for the CFL to tell anyone when or if they're starting. That is the easy way of looking at it. And this is the way I think with the CFL. With the owners, governors, and presidents, they are not stupid people. They're highly intelligent people. We all know that. And I think that they have sat back and all these various scenarios that we've been kicking around for a year is exactly what they've been kicking around. And they probably reached those conclusions before we did. And I think as we sit here on April the 5th, 2021, they're sitting there going, we have been unable to come up with any solution. And the only reason they haven't said that is they don't want to say that. That's my read on it. There's no way around this. We can't pay to play out of a bubble. It's an expensive sport to do so. For whatever reason, they haven't been able to raise the money required like other leagues have. So here they sit. That's what I think it is. They do not have an answer. That's what I think. How about you?
If they had an answer, I think we would know, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And if they were confident about it and excited about it, we would know. I don't think they do. I think they're playing this day by day and trying to understand where it's going to go. But you're right. I don't think there's an answer. I mean, we know already the season's not starting. Training camps aren't opening in the middle of May. They're not. There's not enough time. So you're already pushing it back, but they don't have an answer as to when they're pushing it back to, so they don't come out and say anything. You know? And it's going to be a big news story a week before training camp saying that they're postponed. Well, it shouldn't be a shock when that happens, but, you know, very curious to see, well, what are they planning on? Are they already committing to scrapping the summer and moving to Labor Day? Or are they starting to move back 2 weeks at a time, 4 weeks at a time? I'd like to know that. Expectations versus reality.
Metal Shingle Guy writing us on the Prairie Mobile text line at 306-840-8777. Metal Shingle Guy says, just seen Ontario had 6,000 COVID cases over the weekend. What's the chance the CFL has fans? Sorry to be negative, but without any word from the commissioner, it's becoming more likely they're finished. From Metal Shingle Guy. From the 716. You know, Rod and Moose, people need to wake up. The merger of two football leagues will increase talent revenues and huge TV dollars, things the CFL has limited success year in, year out. They don't get full dollar value from television provider. They get lowballed. People, I think, are scared by the letters XFL, as it's failed in the past. But remember, they've never had The Rock involved until now. That's why over the weekend I did for periods of time turn my phone off because I was like, it's a month into this and people are still saying that. They folded twice. It didn't work. The CFL tried America in the 90s. It didn't work. Like I thought, you can't address 1,000 people with the same question time after time after time after time. Right? Let's argue about COVID instead. Like most aren't getting it. Which reminds me of the Chris Jones thing. I didn't put it in my quick six show topics, but you saw South Pittsburgh High School football program hiring Chris Jones officially on the weekend, which we knew they were going to do. That was an easy one for me to guess. Who's got a better resume than him?
Right.
And people are, and again, avalanche of scorn on Twitter. What a mighty step down. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. How long before he's looking for his next job? It disgusts me, because that's the thing with haters. There ain't nothing you could do, and you've told me that a few times as well, that you're never going to convince these people. You're going to give them irrefutable evidence that they're wrong, and they won't accept it.
That's right.
So you jerks that are laughing at Chris Jones because he's not in the Canadian Football League anymore, I got news for you. Chris Jones is going to be on the field Wednesday for the Pirates' first practice, okay? Hashtag no gas, all brakes. All gas, no brakes. That's fine. I just changed the hashtag of the South Pittsburgh Pirates. That's hilarious.
That's the hashtag for COVID.
How do we come up with this stuff? Ivan Diablo on YouTube. Haters sure do sound like trumpeteers. From Robin and Prince Albert. Chris Jones has money, just going back and doing what he loves. I think that's the whole... There's got to be an acronym. Actually, there is. Haters. Having anger towards anyone reaching success. Chris Jones is happier than a lark. I've talked to him regularly. I tell you, he called... I know I told you this, but I'll tell you. He called a while back. We were watching Yellowstone. It was a Saturday night. And I paused Yellowstone. My wife was on the couch. And I put him on speakerphone. I said, CJ, I got you on speaker. Is that all right? He's like, oh, yeah. But did I tell you, Sydney's eyes got this big. She couldn't understand what he was saying. You think he's got a cornpone accent watching him on television. Wait till he git on the phone.
Speaking of Yellowstone, it's like the girl they brought into the bunkhouse and nobody can understand what she's saying.
That's Jones.
That's Jones. But when you understand it, it's
nothing.
Crystal clear.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She just, what's he saying? Tell you later. He needs subtitles when he gets back into that southern, when he's home.
Yeah.
Speaking of Yellowstone, do you have your...
I do. In the other room. I'll get it.
You should have brought it out here.
I'll get it.
The brand is produced. What should we say?
It's done.
So if people want to line up and take the DuPont Media brand, now's the time. William May says, Coach Jones is one of the best coaches in the CFL, and one day he will be back. From William May. See, that part's true. And by the way, with the Canadian Football League, I think people need to get out of their own headspace. They need to get out of their town. They need to get out of their country and spend a little time in America. Because I spend, as you all know, a lot of time in football hotbeds, i.e. Nevada, Texas, Florida. The Canadian Football League has a wonderful brand down there. Pat McAfee aside, State Fair football. But what if The Rock pulled like what Fred Anderson did, the owner of the Sacramento Gold Miners? Fred Anderson said this, and I got this from the Larry Smith interview last week on TSN Montreal. I don't want anything changed in the CFL. I don't want anything changed. Nothing. What if The Rock said that? He's like, I played in the CFL. It's got a great brand in America, which it does. And everybody ran off half-cocked too soon, jumped to conclusions, and The Rock didn't want to change anything. Would it be more palatable to people then?
Of course it would be.
Now they'd find a way to argue about it.
Well, they would. Yeah, but all those revenues should be staying in Canada.
Exactly.
All those players should be...
Exactly.
Yeah. That's where it goes. But
that'll be the next thing.
But that'll be the next thing. And I do think we've jumped off the deep end way too fast. Nobody's talked about getting rid of the Canadian game.
Not at all.
But we just assume that America's just going to take over and that we're just going to capitulate to whatever they want. And nobody said that's going to happen. But our minds just go into this place, well, we got to complain about something. Or we're going to go straight to the negative side of this. And it's just far too premature for that.
Randolph Zorro watching. He says, maybe you should post the scores for South Pittsburgh High School on your top 6 to start the program. Of course we're going to do that. We're going to be following every game. Hashtag all gas, no brakes. What a maroon I am.
How about that?
How about that? Regarding the branding, Jeff Cabillas is watching in Winnipeg. He says, oh boy, Frenzy gets branded first.
He might not feel it.
Yeah, no kidding. He's vaccinated. I can tell you that. He's got his first shot. Todd Pinkney, one of our P1, says, how much and how much does it hurt? You don't want to know.
No, you don't. I burnt myself. Myself cooking on the weekend. Just touched the side of the oven when I was pulling them out. And, like, I was stinging for an hour. I'm like, okay, I couldn't get branded. Like, this is nothing compared to the brand.
Last one before we break, because Gino DePauli's ready. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, Rod, you do make good points, but for all your talk against the negative Nellies, tell us how you think this all would work. I have over and over and over again, but I'll do it a little later on in the show. Gino joins us next. We've been trying to get him on for quite some time, so let's not keep him waiting. We'll be right back with the voice of the Okotoks Oilers. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV across all 10 provinces and 31 states, live daily on YouTube and Facebook, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpeterson.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
If you could spend less time in the field, more time with your family, and make more money at the same time, would you do it? Verge's farm operations planning technology eliminates unnecessary turns, improves in-field communication, application accuracy, and reduces deadheading. Finish fields faster, burn less fuel, and use fewer inputs, all in one simple-to-use, web-based solution. Do more of what you want, when you want, with the people you love, by subscribing to Launchpad by Verge today.
Direct West has been the bridge for me from not dealing with social media or digital presence to having a presence. You have to take the leap of faith, so to say. And I'm glad we have. Direct West has helped us out immensely to get our presence online as far as digitally and also with the social media page. To see the results is just puts a smile on your face.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating. Proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last.
T-shirts just like we wear on the show. Official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Time to talk a little hockey. Somebody wrote in here and said, oh, hey, Poncho, watching on YouTube, says, why is everybody mad? I think it's because we're COVIDed out. I'm getting that a lot from people. I'm like, I'm so over COVID. Unfortunately, we're actually not over COVID. But Gino Paoli calls Okotoks Oilers games, formerly Whitecourt Wolverines, and in the SJ with Melfort, Humboldt, and Nipawin. Stamps fan, too, I understand. Let's bring in Gino today. We've been trying to get a hold of him for a while to talk some Junior A hockey. How you doing, Gino?
Doing awesome, Rod. Glad to actually be on the show. Love what you guys are doing. And it's pretty much, I kind of look at what you guys have been doing, kind of what I got into radio and how it started in Saskatchewan. We were covering all the local angles, and the Riders were the exception to that rule. The NHL took a back seat. So I'm excited for this for sure.
Well, and that's the thing. We got a lot to cover with you, Gino, so get comfortable. And I appreciate you coming on today, by the way. Just can we start on that Junior A vein? You're situated in Okotoks. What's happening with the AJ season? Are you guys playing? Like, it's a little confusing from province to province. What's the deal?
Well, the AJ is playing. They played games this weekend. There has been the odd suspension of play because of COVID cases that have come up or potential COVID cases. So games have been postponed, not canceled. Obviously, the league had released there was a positive case. And they're all split into different cohorts because the league is so stretched out. You've got one division where it's Spruce Grove playing Fort McMurray. They played yesterday. And then there's one with Whitecourt, Drayton Valley, and Grand Prairie. And there's cases in that one just from the league release. I won't go into detail on that one because I don't know how many, but they have canceled games. And the same is kind of said for another cohort between Drumheller and Camrose and Olds. And there was a postponement the other day just to gain the return of a COVID test. And unfortunately, the cohort that I'm part of, I'm not in the cohort at all. So let's make that real. I don't get to interact with anybody. Is Okotoks, Brooks, and Calgary. They're in their own cohort, and they've had some postponements, and there was cancellations due to a positive test. I won't go into detail. I don't know who the player is. That's all I can tell you on that front. They are playing games, and they did about a 3 or 4 week schedule where you played the same teams over and over again in a home-and-home situation or a day off, and that was going to conclude this weekend anyway. So the Oilers, unfortunately, with the positive test, they're shut down for 2 weeks, kind of like how the Kelowna Rockets are in the Western Hockey League. They're following the exact same sort of model in that aspect. If there's a positive case, you're shut down completely for 14 days, and you just wait. We wait and see, and that's all that really can happen. So I had no games the past weekend, so I had a pretty quiet Easter.
Well, happy belated Easter to you, by the way. And I understand it's an Alberta holiday, so I guess we're still on it. I don't know if you can see comments coming in. Ryan Schweitzer of Swift Current City Council writes in, Gino, good to see your friendly face in the Daily Scroll. There you go from Schweitz. So, Gino, little bit of news coming up with the BC Hockey League informing the CJHL that their intentions to break off from the umbrella that governs all of Canadian Junior A hockey. What do you know about it? What's the latest, and how's it been received?
Well, I can't speak too much on the BCHL. There was always rumors of this, and it kind of goes back to when you broke that the Super League talks where there'd be the odd AJ team joining the BCHL to make their own league because, for whatever reason, I will confirm with the Okotoks Oilers, they have not had any of that. The thing that kind of started this goes way back before even my time in the league, where there was talks, and the big key part of that was the price of oil in Alberta. Does everybody remember those days when the price of oil was over $100 a barrel?
Long time ago, yep.
Yeah, well, that paid for my college tuition every summer working the rigs, right? Working construction. So, and that's not there anymore. So that's kind of the big thing there. There was always talks, and Okotoks was in them, and it was only a pipe dream. There was never any formal discussion ever. It was always kind of well, this could work. Like, you always thought about the powerhouses. This is when Grand Prairie was just booming. They're coming around. The Storm has done very well getting back to some of their glory days. Fort McMurray is always in the talks, and Brooks, how successful they've been, and Okotoks was in those conversations too. But nothing has really accumulated, and nobody from the AJHL is at this point going that direction for the BCHL. And it doesn't shock me that BC wants to do their own thing, because have they not done their own thing as far as I can remember in Junior A? They are pretty good at what they do for recruiting. They just want to take the next level, and because players are going to the USHL, or NCAA schools are wanting them to go that route. So that's, a hair on them for that. It's a huge hit for recruiting no matter what. But as a Super League with the AJ, there's nobody involved in that at this moment anyway. And that's from good sources that I've got.
Oh, interesting. Well, obviously I've heard differently from some of those teams. One of them saying we're gone, and these are the teams that are coming with us. So I guess we'll see on that. But what about, it was a scout, by the way, that told me in the Brand Center last week that the intention is to be a USHL division. Let's just forget about Alberta, that those BC teams would be a northern division of the USHL. Could you see that? And could you speak, by the way, to the perception of USHL hockey as opposed to Major Junior and Junior A in Canada, or even the NAHL in America?
Well, to me, the USHL is a really good junior. It's an elite Junior A league like the BCHL or the AJ. They have their own sort of realm. They can kind of recruit from all over, is kind of the big thing there. And so can BC, and so can Alberta, and so can any other team. There is some restrictions on imports, obviously, still, but I don't have the best intel in the USHL, but they can pull from just about anywhere is kind of the big thing. And I think that's the biggest discussion, that, well, they're pulling these kids maybe at 16 and waiving that. And some like if you're from Alberta, you can't go to a different province and play until you're 18, you're a legal adult. There's some of those rules change, and I think that's the big thing why the BC wants to get that much better to just try and compete in the USHL, because they can do that.
Wow, interesting. By the way, Robin Wildy with a great question. He's a PA guy, but he's a huge hockey guy, and he says, what is the buzz around the AJ with Black Falls coming in? And I would ask the same question. Black Falls, very active on social media. They have looks like a new facility, right? What's up with the Black Falls Bulldog? Are they playing?
No, they're supposed to play this coming season. That is their inception season. They kind of got lucky. They didn't have to go through a pandemic in their first season. Brand new, beautiful facility in Black Falls. They're going to be run by a pretty good guy who knows a lot about, back in the TELUS Cup days. Doug Quinn is going to, he's going to make things interesting. And it's from that move from the Calgary Mustangs, formerly the Calgary Royals, from back in the day, for those that really want to go into the vault. It just made the South Division so much better. They've recruited some already committed players, some elite players that are going to come in. They're going to be a little bit younger, but we'll see. I think with Doug's connections with Red Deer in the past and his pipeline of hockey personnel, they're going to be super competitive. And when you have a facility, it's kind of the old saying, if you build it, they will come. It looks immaculate. And I'm looking forward to calling games in Black Falls, because I'm tired of to be honest, I was tired of the free spot on the bingo card for most nights when it was playing the Mustangs and the Oilers. It was not a fun atmosphere to be of. And you want to earn and get better. And to be honest, there's only 3 or 4 teams at any time in the South, because you'd have those gimmies. And I don't think it's going to be a gimme with Black Falls any night, and that's exactly what this league needs to get more competitive.
Awesome chat. Gino Paoli is the voice of the Okotoks Oilers. Now, to the NHL, just pretend for a second you're the general manager of the Calgary Flames. What are you doing right now and for the rest of the year and into the offseason, assuming this doesn't turn around?
Well, to just kind of follow up on that one a little bit, I'm not buying at the deadline. Why would you? I think this is the year, if you have to have an off year or be bad when nobody's around and there's not much revenue being made anyway, why wouldn't you potentially blow up the team? I don't think it'll happen. I just think there will be still some faith in some players. If you can get something, there was the biggest rumor yesterday that David Riddick was on the trading block, which, okay, cool. That doesn't really bother me any. He played well last night enough. And the last 2 games that Calgary played, against Edmonton and Toronto. I think they were very winnable games. They just couldn't hit the broadside of the barn, and they couldn't score, plain and simple. And that's what's killed them this year. And now maybe you're going to start. And if you can sell Johnny Gaudreau, I don't think it's a good idea. I still think I love what he does as a member of the Calgary Flames. But if you're going to get something, I guess, yeah, that's the time to do it. I'd definitely be a seller at the deadline. But do you have anything that's that viable to sell that you don't want to keep, or is everybody off the board or is available? Like even Jacob Markstrom, who just signed his deal, is somebody going to make a pitch? I don't think anybody's going to eat that salary, and that's the biggest problem. Every general manager, it doesn't matter if you're in junior or not, they're going to make you eat something, or they'll sit and like, okay, we'll get them later, sort of a situation. Like it's always a buyer's market and a seller's market, but there's always guys out there that want to kind of, they're going to make you sweat a little bit. So I don't know what Calgary's going to really have. They're going to have to throw in somebody maybe they don't want to. Maybe I don't think Matthew Tkachuk is untouchable anymore, because he's definitely seen a drop, and he's only in year one of his 3-year deals. So there's options available for Calgary to go, but is it going to fix the problem long term? Your drafting has been okay. You have players like Matt Phillips, played in the Western League with the Victoria Royals, was outstanding and doing well in the A over point per game. Are you going to go into that after the deadline, where if you can move some players? Derek Ryan's available allegedly. So I'm selling. I'm definitely not buying.
Scott on Twitter says, yeah, they need a major deal in the sense of trading. Where did it go? Trading Monahan and Gaudreau and getting some young prospects and picks back. This team's been spinning the hamster wheel for 10 years with a good season here and there, but then right back to average or below average, because it looks like they're going to miss the playoffs. Wayne Rosnowski is watching in Lethbridge. He says Junior A Super League talk has been around for years. At one time it was Dauphin, a few Alberta clubs, Fort Mac, Grand Prairie, BC clubs, similar to the USHL. Well,
yeah, that's exactly what I got too.
Right. Well, just because it's been around for years doesn't mean it's not going to happen. I guess at some point they might jump off the cliff. I guess we'll find out. And hey, Crowsey's watching. Brandon Crow, the voice of the Brandon Wheat Kings, writes in. He says, my old roommate loves seeing the Italian Stallion on the big screen. There you go, Gino, from the voice of the Brandon Wheat Kings. Brandon Crow.
Back in the CJVR days, we stayed in the same house, in Ken Singer's house. I think we called it the DePaoli Ranch at one point, which was super weird. But home
of the Melfort Shuffle. Lastly, Gino, I never really knew you. I never really knew you as a football guy, but are you a Stamps fan? Am I right in that?
You could call me a Stamps fan. Like it's one of those things, and it's hard because I love your guys' chats about the CFL. That's the only way I know what's going on in the CFL right now, to be quite honest, is seeing what you guys are talking about. And no, it's interesting. I kind of went on a pivot. As a kid, I didn't really care for the NFL because I didn't know a whole lot about it. I liked the Denver Broncos, and that's because that was the only team we got back on the farm on Peasant Vision, and that was only during the playoffs, and they won back-to-back Super Bowls. So I was kind of entrenched with the old school when Henry Burrs came back, and that sort of era of the Stampeders after the Kevin Federick days. Like, let's not bring that one back up. I'm sure you remember it quite well. It's tough because there's a lot of the guys that I know that are football fans in Calgary. They're diehard McMahon. Like there are the diehards of McMahon. They obviously don't compare to what's happening in Regina with the Riders and with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, but some people are absolutely crushed. There may not be football, but I think the sad thing is, a lot of people aren't going to really care if they don't have football again, which is the sad part about that. But yeah, I'll always be a Stamps fan first. People tried to convert me to a Rider fan when I moved here and started. I said, not a chance. I can't do it. I just couldn't do it. And of course, I was the 13th man incident in the year after. And I was at Daryl Mann's house, the coach of the Melfort Mustangs, watching the Grey Cup in the rematch against Montreal. And I was sticking it to him. And I'm surprised I didn't die, to be honest, leaving that house. But obviously that's just kind of my sort of set with the Stamps that, yeah, they will be my team. It'll be sad if this league can't get going in Calgary. I think there's too many people that enjoy the McMahon experience. I always loved the Labor Day games against Edmonton. I know the Banjo Bowl and all that is special, but it would always land on my dad's birthday, which always was huge. And obviously he passed away a couple years ago, and that's kind of the one memory I had was watching Stamps Eskimos. So I'm going to miss the Stamps if they don't keep going. So I will take whatever comes this way to keep football in Canada. I don't care if it's 4 downs, 5 downs, fan selection. I don't care. I just want football.
Yeah, that's the sense that I'm getting, and that's certainly the way that I feel. But it's unthinkable to think that we might be at the end, but I don't, for the time being, see any other way. Gino, thanks for this. Thanks for all of your support of everything that I've done, and good luck out there with the season, and let's do it again soon. Stay safe.
You too, Rod. Thanks for having me on.
Gino Paoli, the voice of the Okotoks Oilers. And before we break, curling report for Verge Agriculture. An unexpected steal and a force put Canada's Brendan Botcher in the situation he wanted against Switzerland Sunday at the World Men's Curling Championship in Calgary. Tied with hammer in the extra end, an untimely miss proved costly in his first loss of the competition. Botcher was light on his final draw to give up a steal of 2 as Peter de Cruz pulled out a 6-4 victory at the Markin McPhail Centre. Canada bounced back in the afternoon draw with a 7-6 victory over winless Dutch skip Jaap van Dorp. Italy's Joel Retornes defeated Germany's Sixten Totzek 9-3, and Sweden's Nicholas Eden edged Sergei Glukov of the Russian Curling Federation 8-7 in an extra end. American John Schuster doubled Japan's Yuta Matsumura 10-5 in the other early game. Norway, 5-0, is the only remaining unbeaten team. See that, Dupes? The only unbeaten team. Norway, 5-0 at the Worlds. Canada, the Russian Curling Federation, Scotland, Switzerland, and the U.S. all 4-1. Italy and Sweden were 3-2, while Denmark and Japan fell to 2-3. South Korea 1-5. China 0-5. Germany 0-5. And the Netherlands 0-6. Round-robin play continues through Friday afternoon. Curling Reports brought to you by Verge Agriculture, helping farmers plan and optimize their operations across every field. Try Verge's Precision Farm Tech software for free today at vergeag.com. We'll be right back. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Our parents always taught us about the importance of quality of work and friendly service. And here at Suds Car Wash, we're a family-run business, so it's really important that our customers feel like family.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Direct West provides us with stats and analytics, and it's amazing for us to look and see that, each year we're 10 to 20% higher on our Google leads. It's great to see the success that our locations are having. The Direct West app gives us an opportunity to be in one place for people to find any of our locations or our commodities. Without Direct West, we would have to be in multiple digital places. I would recommend Direct West. They're great to work with.
Capital Ford Lincoln is Truck Nation. Looking to buy your next truck or sell your current one? Capital is Canada's truck destination. Shop online or in-store to see the new 2021 Ford F-150, Ranger, Escape, and more. Right now is the best time to lease or finance a new vehicle. Can't find exactly what you're looking for? Let us help by sourcing your vehicle from our dealer network or custom ordering one that is perfect for you. Capital Ford Lincoln is Truck Nation, 1201 Pasqua Street North in Regina.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. Moose is disappointing me. I haven't taught you very well.
I know. You have. I know.
He's got a 50-50 shot of winning thousands of dollars U.S. tonight if Baylor beats Gonzaga in the NCAA March Madness final. It's just him and one other guy in the bracket for the Enterprise Sports. It's a show out of Philadelphia, and those guys all watch our show down there, and they invited us into the bracket. And this kid from Wynyard, Sask, apparently American college hoops aficionado, you made it all the way to the final. And you're sitting here dreaming about how you're going to spend the money when you win it.
I know. It's scary. It's not a good...
It's scary for me.
You don't spend the money till the hay's in the bin, right?
Till the grain's in the bin.
Yes. Same thing. Ish.
Till the hay's in the barn.
Hay's in the barn. That's what I was thinking. I mixed the two up, right?
You don't spend the money till you got it.
Yeah.
But I still hope you win.
I do too.
Do you want to show people this? It's a big day here today.
Can.
Big day. The brand has been built.
Where do you want me to put it?
Right there. So we're lining.
I'm trying not to look happy. Right? But it's hard.
That is the DuPont Media brand there. We've got two. Give us a maniacal look. Hey, there you go. Don't smile.
I can.
Look mean. Look mean. There you go. Don't smile.
Anybody's out of line.
We've got 2 people who have volunteered to take the brand. I'm not going to name them. You know who they are.
Yes.
Where are you going to start the fire to heat that thing?
I know, right? We got to get the going in your desk again.
They actually made that. How would anybody else make? If they wanted a brand made, where would they go?
They'd go to my brother. He's a welder. He's really talented, and he put a lot of time into this. So, although, whoops, he told me last night, he's like, if you start branding people, I want no association to have been the guy who created this. But now it's on.
You just outed him.
But now it's on record. So
you just outed him.
Yeah.
Interesting, Gino Paoli giving us a little bit of a glimpse of what the hockey guys think about football in the CFL. I mean, you were listening from the couch. Did he not say if they die? Oh, well.
Yeah. Pretty much. Wow. And there's a lot of people out there like that.
Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, I've seen so many fans go from the Riders to the Stampeders, but none from the Stamps to the Riders. Jeff goes on to say, where is it? Just off the top of my head, I can think of 5 Rider fans that now don Stamps jerseys. Hey, Jeff, if the CFL dies, who are you going to troll? What are you going to do if this league folds? I'd like to know. Like a guy like that would be lost. Sports update. 3 North Division matchups are on the NHL schedule tonight. The Sens look to continue their winning ways in Winnipeg after downing the Canadiens 6-3 over the weekend. Montreal is trying to get back in the win column. They host the Edmonton Oilers, and the Flames and Leafs will meet again in Calgary, where Toronto took a 4-2 decision last night. The WHL announced today Regina Pats forward Connor Bedard has been named the Journey Rewards Player of the Week. Bedard recorded 9 points and a +5 rating in 4 games. Meanwhile, Brandon goalie Ethan Kruger has been named goaltender of the week. The 19-year-old from Sherwood Park went undefeated in 3 appearances with a 1.33 GAA. On the ice, Tristan Nielsen buried the lone goal in the shootout, leading the Vancouver Giants to a 1-0 victory over the Prince George Cougars. Connor Roulette scored the game winner with 13 seconds to go in overtime, and the Thunderbirds completed a comeback to edge the winless Spokane Chiefs. And Ethan Kruger had 22 saves for the Wheat Kings as they topped the Blades 3-1. That win extended Brandon's win streak to 6 games. Tonight in the Dub Hub, 4 p.m., Regina Pats, Moose Jaw Warriors. Moose and I will be calling it on Access Now Television. Connor Bedard only has 3 games left with God's team before leaving to join Team Canada, so you got to tune in. 8 p.m. tonight, it's Brandon against Prince Albert. The Toronto Raptors back in Florida, ready to host the Washington Wizards. Toronto's coming off a franchise-best 53-point win over Golden State on Friday. How the hell did that happen?
I know.
You understand? 2 years ago, those two teams were in the NBA Finals. And now they're both junk.
And the Raptors weren't winning anything and then just wiped the floor.
That is unbelievable.
With them. It is.
There will be a crowd in the stands when the Blue Jays hit the field in Arlington, Texas today. Toronto visiting the Texas Rangers, who will play their first regular season game in front of fans at Globe Life Field. The $1.2 billion ballpark opened last year, but crowds weren't permitted due to the pandemic, even when the stadium held the neutral site World Series. Gonzaga's perfect season is on the line as it goes for the NCAA men's basketball title tonight. The Bulldogs will face Baylor in the championship game. 7:20 p.m. Mountain tip-off. Should the Bears win, Dupes wins thousands of dollars. I'll say it again. And that's all I got. This sports update for dubnetwork.ca, your number one source for Western Hockey League breaking news and analysis with the best team of writers across Western Canada and the Pacific Northwest. Visit today, dubnetwork.ca. And for Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars, RP Show viewers get 20% off with the promo code RP Show. Order yours now at g2gbars.ca. We've got a couple minutes left in this segment. Darren, you've been eyeing the viewer screen incessantly since I was reading that sports update. What are they saying up there?
They're wondering about the brand, actually. They're wondering if it will go on backwards. No, it should. It looks good to me from my angle, right? That's what you'll see.
They have no idea what branding is, do they?
No. And our friends, the Grey Cup Fun Police, have already put it on Twitter. I couldn't believe that.
The photo, or
they took a screenshot of the show and
holy smokes,
put it on Twitter. So they're on top of that, which is pretty amazing.
You know, and it's interesting, by the way. My oldest brother watches this show most days, and my middle brother watches or listens quite often. They can attest to this. Do you know what the brand was for Cropwell Farms, which was ours growing up?
No.
You're never going to believe this. Bar to Bar. So when we were kids, we had that brand, and we played with it and stuff. So it looked exactly like that. But it was like dash to dash. Bar to bar.
They all do. Yellowstone does. Again, I'm watching the episode and in season 3, and he just literally pins the guy up against the truck, grabs that guy's brand out of the truck and beats him with it. They all have got, every cattle farmer's got one, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how you do it.
But we had one.
When the cows get out of the fence or the pasture and they start wandering, how do you know who they are, right?
From the viewers, Jeff Cabillas in Winnipeg says, I'll take the brand if you promise not to take me to the train station. We've got 3 people now. That's got to feel good, eh?
How about that?
How about that? J-Rod watching, he says, I'm so glad I can watch the Pats game. LOL, not an 8 o'clock start. My bedtime. I know, Jay, right? I know. The 8 o'clock is late, but I'd rather have that than 4 o'clock because it kind of muddles up your whole day. We got a break. We'll come back with a full-on viewer takeover. You're watching the RP Show, heading into overtime. It's next on Game Plus TV and rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina. Capital GMC is Truck Nation. Looking to buy your next truck or sell your current one? Capital is Canada's truck destination. Shop online or in-store to see the new 2021 GMC Sierra, Terrain, and Acadia. Right now is the best time to lease or finance a new vehicle. Can't find exactly what you're looking for? Let us help by sourcing your vehicle from our dealer network or custom ordering one that is perfect for you. Capital GMC is Truck Nation at the corner of Rochdale and Pasqua in Regina.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
If you could spend less time in the field, more time with your family, and make more money at the same time, would you do it? Verge's farm operations planning technology eliminates unnecessary turns, improves in-field communication, application accuracy, and reduces deadheading. Finish fields faster, burn less fuel, and use fewer inputs, all in one simple-to-use, web-based solution. Do more of what you want, when you want, with the people you love by subscribing to Launchpad by Verge today.
An original 16 to fit your active lifestyle. Introducing Original 16 Canadian Ultra Lager. Just 80 calories and 2.5% alcohol. Taste without compromise.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
We call it Viewer Takeover, and that's where we are. Plenty of time for here in overtime. I see there is a war has erupted, a brawl. There's blood spilled in the comments section here. I haven't totally followed what's gone on, and for our people watching on Game Plus, it's the YouTube, Facebook viewers that are going after each other. Randolph Zora says, so much for Alberta hospitality. And that's Jeff, the Stamps fan, right? And I will say this, he's right. There's a lot of people that have gone from Rough Riders fans to Calgary Stampeders fans, and he says none go the other way. But let's remember this. A full 1/3 of Calgary is made up of people from Saskatchewan. You know that.
Yeah.
So a lot of my relations in Calgary became Stamps fans, but every time the Riders played at McMahon, they'd wear Rider jerseys to the game. They're Stamps fans until Calgary plays Saskatchewan, which makes sense, right? That's fair.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Stampeders season ticket holders that won't go to those Rider games when they come to town. And I know them personally, too. Calgary people, right, with no Sask roots. They're like, I just don't want to be around. And they sell their tickets because they don't want to be around the Rider Nation.
And I would think that would be very difficult to be in a pro sports market and not be a fan of that team, right? Like to be very hard in Seattle and not be a Seahawks fan would be tough. You'd want to be a fan of the home team, right? So I get why you'd put on a Calgary jersey and go to the games and support the team if you're living in Calgary.
Right. It would be very hard not to cheer for the local team. Although in Phoenix, nobody really cheers for the Cardinals or the Coyotes. Well, more so the Coyotes. The Cardinals now have a lot of fans, but remember, they were junk for 20 years.
Right.
And nobody from Phoenix is from Phoenix. You know what I mean? Except for Austin Matthews. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. Like Van Hurst is watching from Kent, Washington. Who was the other viewer checking in here from America? I don't have any idea what is the attraction to this show from the Americans, but I'll take it. And by the way, Mick from Toledo is watching.
Yep.
ESPN Sports Radio Toledo. He says the USHL presents itself as a Tier 1 major junior league. Kids wanting to go the draft route, go CHL, to go the NCAA route, scholarships, then the USHL is a viable option. Canadian Junior A hockey is more comparable to the NAHL, that's Tier 2. USA Hockey changed the Junior A, B, C designations to Tier 1, 2, and 3. That's from Mick in Toledo, where he follows hockey very closely. And I've been, close to the junior hockey scene my whole life, but I think we can say that it's shifting. Would we, right? We can accurately say it's shifting?
It's shifting.
And some guys are just trying to put a lasso on it.
I know.
Stop it from going too far. Because wouldn't we all like to just say what we are? We just said we're Canada's daytime sports talk show. Oh, wait. It worked. So maybe there is something to it.
There is.
Kevin from the 905 texts in from KSJ Sports. He says, the lack of communication is so disappointing around the CFL. I personally don't see anything starting until Canada Day at the earliest, and hopefully at that point, the vaccine rollout will be enough to get some fans back in the stadiums. He goes on to say, Canada with a 10-1 win today versus USA in only 6 ends. Well, I didn't realize it was over already. Kicked his ass, as they say. Metal shingle guy, Rod, those same people would complain about winning the lottery because they need to go to Winnipeg to get the check. Who are we talking about? What? I sort of briefly remember Cam.
The people would complain about anything. The haters.
Oh, that was from a while back. I said if The Rock came in and said, let's merge and let's keep it the Canadian Football League, keep it 3 downs, don't change a thing, people would still complain. Okay, that's what Metal Shingle guy was
complain about winning the lottery because they got to drive to Winnipeg to get the check.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Nelson, what are we talking about here? Nelson says RP's response to this should be good. Response to what? I got a guy. To what? I got a guy, and you know who he is. He DM'd me here during the show, and he said, Rod, call me this afternoon. I'm going to give you the background on this CFL, XFL thing. So I'll know a heck of a lot more by tomorrow. Or shoot, maybe by the time I see you at 4 o'clock.
I hope so.
For the hockey game. Oh. Have I ever heard of the Seattle Thunderbirds? Is that he's waiting to see my response. What do you say to that? That's that whole thing where people think of me as the 20-year Canadian Football League guy and don't realize I was in the Western Hockey League for 17 years. Of course I know what this... What? I guess you got educated, but it's all these new viewers, right? You can't get mad.
That's right. They all need to get educated.
You just have to continually educate them. It's like the people that think your brand was built backwards.
Yes.
And you were getting frustrated at that.
Yes. I built it backwards. I spent all this time only to build it backwards.
Reminds me of the movie City Slickers. Curly. When he goes, city people.
I want to watch that movie again.
So good.
So good.
I'm on vacation. I think about that all the time. And that's another thing that I don't miss. When I was the voice of the Riders, I'm trying to have a damn holiday, and you can't. You're just locked to your handcuffed to your damn phone because of something that might break. Don't miss it. That's just the way that it is.
I know.
And you thought it was a pain, and then you realize, the fact that people cared so much was a good thing, and you thought it was a pain in the ass.
Yeah. I know. And if you're really, really... And I don't want to say lucky because it means your hockey season ended before a Memorial Cup. You might have got a holiday from mid-April till mid-May. That was it.
From John Schmeiser in Kansas City. Oh, the suspense. Can't wait to hear the CFL, XFL insider information. That's tomorrow. We'll see you at 4 for Pats and Warriors. Dustin Forbes of the Hurricanes with us here on Game Plus. I don't know. This is not an online therapy session whatsoever.